Hi, so welcome to your reading. So you would have picked either pile 1, 2 or 3. So I'm just going to move pile 2 and 3 over there for a moment. So pile number 1, welcome. If this was your pile, this would be your rune, and your rune here today is Nordiz. And Nordiz is all about your soul needs. So it's kind of like your needs on a soul level. It may signal where you have felt restricted, potentially, maybe had a little bit of restraint or constriction around your needs being met. So you may be feeling a little bit wound up at the moment. Maybe there could be a little bit of defensiveness going on in there. This may signal things changing around your relationships, or perhaps you feel a bit overwhelmed by your life at the moment. So that's the overall energy of your reading. Sorry, I couldn't find my runes then. So I'm going to pick a few more runes to go with that. So we're going to see just where your energy is in your higher conscience right now. Okay, so we have the rune Dagaz, and Dagaz is about it's like having a light switch on. It's like it illuminates things for you on a kind of like a psychic level. So it's like the dawn of a new day, an awakening. You may be going through perhaps a bit of a spiritual awakening. This may be off the back of something that's recently happened to you, perhaps an event in your life. And this is coming through from your higher conscience. So it's an energy that is working with your soul needs on that level. So you may be starting to have a calling for something in your life that perhaps you didn't before. Maybe there's things you're not quite understanding about why you're feeling the way you're feeling. It's like Dagaz also represents illusions, and you may be feeling like perhaps the illusion that you were living in is now starting to be highlighted to you, to be illuminated to you. Let's just have a look at the subconscious on here. We will look deeper into these as well as we go when we pick the cards out as well that were chosen for you. So in your subconscious, there is an element of intention here. So it's almost like you're not aware of this yet, but you are manifesting something. You are bringing an awareness in. Now, Sir Willow is also connected to the energy of the sun, which is connected to the divine masculine. So this could be if you are, this relates to male or female. We all have divine male, masculine and feminine within us. But this is about awakening that divine masculine within yourself. So maybe this is where you are starting to take more action with things in your life. Maybe you're taking more of a leadership in your life, or that's starting to come through, because as I say, this is coming from your subconscious. So it's not something that you're aware of at the moment. It kind of sits there in a blind spot in your mind. But it is something that's coming through into the forefront of your mind, I feel, on this one. Okay, and let's have a look at what cards we have for you. So we have 2 major arcana cards. We have the Fool and we have the Emperor. Now, like I said before about taking that lead, the Emperor is all about that sort of like standing in your power and taking over, taking control of things that are happening in your life and where you're going. And the Fool is about taking a gamble, taking a chance. And it's being able to sort of just think like, this is really what I want to do. It might be completely different to what I've done before or where I've been before. But I almost feel like you're stepping out of the constraints. You're stepping out of the shackles that have been holding you back, that have been keeping you in a place of just plodding on and not really committed to who you are and where you want to be and what you want to be doing. Okay, so let's see what this relates to in terms of what area of your life. So we've got 4 minor arcana on here. So I'm just going to have a look at these for a moment. Okay, we've got a lot of 6s going on here. And I do feel that this can relate to maybe since June and 2023. So we've got the Six of Cups and the Six of Wands. And I feel like the energy here was about you kind of, are you thinking back on the past over things that have happened? And it feels like with the Six of Wands, it's, you've kind of done with that. It's something that the energy's been quite like, I'm done, I'm leaving, I'm taking my stuff and I'm going. But you keep reflecting back on that time and keep taking yourself back into those memories. Maybe they're happy memories. Maybe you're looking at things through a bit of a rose tinted glass and thinking like, well, I was, things were okay then. But you've gone off to seek something, but you're not really sure what it is that you're seeking or where you're going with it. So I do feel that if that resonates with you, this is a journey that you've been taking by yourself. Maybe you've taken quite a hasty decision on there, and it's kind of left you thinking back into the past, going over things in your mind. Did I do the right thing there? Maybe the situation you're in now doesn't quite feel as good as it did in the previous one. But maybe it's all in hindsight. Maybe it's all sort of like I say, looking through those rose-tinted glasses on there. I do feel, so the other two cards you have is the Knight of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. And I do feel with this energy, there's something that's happened here that feels like there's regret from you. It feels like you wish you'd taken more chance to, I'm getting something like a chance to sort of smell the flowers, more chance to find out more, allow the emotion to flow more, just spending more time being present in that moment. And it feels like you've had a bit of time since then to sort of think about this, to think about what happened there, and how you feel about it. And I see you as the Knight of Pentacles. It's like you've got an apology to make. You want to come forward with, or this might be somebody coming forward with an apology for you, potentially. It may be that this actually is about what's going on with you, where someone regrets how they've treated you. They're thinking about the past. And it feels like there was an opportunity for like a commitment here, but something happened. And if you look in the background with that house in the background there, it feels like there was an opportunity for a stability, or the stability felt distant. It felt far away in this moment. And maybe there's a fear of stability there, or, with this Six of Wands, it feels like you're sort of determined to be going in one direction, determined to go somewhere on there. You have this idea in your mind, but you're struggling to be able to do it. And now you're thinking back over this past experience, potentially, and it's making you feel like, well, what if I had stayed a bit longer? What if I didn't up sticks and go? What would have happened? So I do feel there's a little bit of wondering on there. And that's kind of what's holding you in this place of, you're trying to figure out what your soul needs are. This is what your higher self is bringing forward for you, is illuminating what is actually happening here for me. Why do I feel like this? And perhaps from this experience, it's awakened you in such a way that perhaps your plans are changing now. Perhaps what you thought you wanted is actually not really what you want or how you want it to be. And there is something new coming. There is something that's been manifesting within you, an intention that you set, I would say, perhaps a while back. And through that intention, it's bringing forward for you all of the things that are standing in your way. So the experiences that you're having are kind of highlighting, they're illuminating those obstacles that are standing in the way of you achieving what it is that actually really is your intention, is what you want. So maybe you've had a little while to think about this, and the Knight of Pentacles is, Knights are about direction. And the Knight of Pentacles is about bringing forward an offering. So this could be you bringing an offering to somebody else. Maybe you want to get back with somebody. Or maybe this is somebody coming towards you with an offer. There's a deer in the background as well, which to me like a symbol of family and gentleness as well. So it's kind of like the energy of bringing perhaps anger into more gentleness. So perhaps if there's been anger in the past, the way to move forward with this, the offering that you need to bring needs to be quite gentle, needs to be very thoughtful. Sorry, I haven't been very well recently, and I kind of still have a bit of a cough, so sorry about that. But I see here that with the offering you have, you're moving towards somebody or something, and I feel like you've been discussing this with other people. You've been having these thoughts, having these feelings, and you've decided to actually start opening up to other people. And perhaps you're surprised by what they're telling you, what they're saying. It's like you feel now you're ready to be part of something. You're ready to be in that union. So the Three of Cups can represent like the Two of Cups, which is the union. So that's like as an individual, these are you two as separate people. And then the third cup is like the cup that you bring together. So it's like your energies combined, creating that one cup that you both fill in the center. So this is like symbolic of moving forward into a more conscious relationship, where it's like you are still your individual self, you're on your own healing journey, the other person is as well, but you both bring that peace and love and support in that third cup for each other. So I do feel that with this. Let's have a look at what your other cards we have. So we have, and I will read this one out to you at the end. So with your animal cards, the animal you have today is the ladybird and sweet pea, which is happiness. So this is looking like you are working towards finding that happiness within you. Maybe you've always been asking or saying, I want happiness, I want to be happy. But in your previous situations, maybe with previous relationships, previous people, you haven't really found that happiness. It hasn't felt like you've got that full connection there. And maybe the experience that you've had here, there was happiness there, but not in the way that you expected it to be, because it meant you had to go and do some work. And this was you going off here to go and do some work on yourself. Maybe the other person needed to go and do some work on themselves as well. But in that time, it has awakened you. It's illuminated the things that need to change in order for you to bring that forward as well. Your moon card, we have prepare. So this is a new beginning. This is something that is coming for you. So I feel like you're about to experience happiness in a way that you never have before. And you may see happiness or think of happiness as it needing to be exhilarating or exciting. But maybe it needs to feel peaceful. Maybe it needs to feel more like, that sunshine on a warm day where it's like you can just be gentle. You can just lay down on the meadow and enjoy. Just be part of it. You don't have to keep looking for the errors or looking for anything that's wrong with it. Just be present in it and just enjoy it. I love these cards. They are really, really pretty, aren't they? Sorry, I'm going to have a little drink. Cheers. So yeah, it is time for you to, well, it looks like that egg's broken open, doesn't it? So it's almost like you've been in this containment for some time now and you're ready to break open. And there's like that yolk in the center. Yolk means union in yoga. So that you're ready for that union now that's going to be coming forwards. And it says prepare on the bottom. So you are preparing for that happiness. And I want to say as well with the card that says happiness there, Happiness is something that we find within ourselves. It's not something that anybody else can provide for us. And once we start realizing that, when we find that happiness within ourselves, we can actually connect with other people and be happy, and see what they bring forward for us, because we're taking responsibility for how we feel ourselves, not how somebody else is making you feel or you perceive them to make you feel. Okay, we've got your chakra oracle card is Workaholic. So this is connected to the throat chakra, which is quite interesting, because if you're anything like me at the moment and you've got a bit of a sore throat, got a bit of a cough going on, I do feel with the Workaholic card on here, maybe you've been burying yourself in your work. Maybe that's your way of trying to move through how you're feeling. It's almost like a distraction. But there's a point where you can do that far too much and then start to realise, like, I'm not actually dealing with this and I'm not actually feeling that happiness. And this is not going away. You are fully illuminated, and we've got the full moon coming up tomorrow, which awakens that power, that, you know, it's allowing that illumination to take you. And this particular moon cycle is about collapsing our limiting beliefs. So any old belief systems that don't suit you anymore, this is the moon that's going to start moving through that. So Workaholic, if that resonates with you and you feel like you are working too much or you're focusing too much into your work because you're trying to distract yourself from something else, you are aware of that, and you know it's time for that intention to be taken now. It's time for you to move forward with the Knight of Pentacles into that place. Now, I feel like this is you that needs to take this chance and move forward. However, if it's something that you've been hoping for, then you can expect somebody to come forward with an offer for you. Okay. And you may have to be patient there. I mean, it might not be that this happens straight around the full moon, although I do feel like it will be around the full moon, if not a little bit after. So over the next few days, just being aware of what changes are occurring for you with that. Now, I picked a Whispers of Love card. I did this for all three piles, and I think it will really resonate with this pile, because I feel like this is to do with a reconnection, something that awoke you to a feeling that you haven't felt before, or maybe awoke the person that's on your mind to a feeling they haven't felt before. And they recognise that now to be, actually, that made me feel happy, because nothing's really changed in my life since I walked away from that, since I moved away from that. And that's how they've had to deal with it, is through work, just throwing themselves into work. And the throat centre here as well, it's like putting a hold on that, trying to hide from how that's feeling. So with this moon card telling you prepare, this is the full moon, look, it's illuminated. So I do feel like this full moon now is where things are going to really change for you. Things are going to start happening, and it's breaking that egg wide open. The self-containment is over. It's time to take those restrictions off, because that's where we were with Nordies. It can be quite restrictive. Taking those constraints off and bringing things together. Now, it's interesting with your Six of Wands and things, because it's like with Nordies, it's like rubbing two sticks together to create fire. It's like your primal will, the natural impulses that we have. Yeah, it's like our anim and our animus, that primal part of ourselves. And what do we need? What are our basic needs? Food, water, sex. This is what this is about, is kind of like stop running away from the things that you feel you need and allowing them to come to you. And it feels like if you've been wishing for something, the intention's been set there in your subconscious mind, this is coming forward. This is coming through. Okay. Well, the card we have says, be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. So again, this works with Sir Willow, because it's suggesting that, you know, what you're manifesting right now in your mind, what you're dreaming about, you can bring that into your present. You can bring that into your reality. So the more you are in the present, step out of that workaholic mode, step into, move towards what truly makes you happy. So this is getting out there, connecting with people. If there's a union there that you're looking for, step towards it. Make contact with that person. If this is you waiting for somebody to make contact with you, well, prepare, because I feel like that is coming. That is moving towards you. Yeah, we've got the pyramids on here as well. So it feels like there's quite a psychic link between yourself and this person. Like you feel each other, you're aware of each other, and that connection has never gone. It's always stayed there. Even if it's been a while since you weren't with each other. And I'm getting a lot of 6 energy. So we've got the Emperor there. Oh, hang on, that's actually 4, isn't it? It's just because I saw a V and a 1, I thought 6, but it's the wrong way around. So we've got the 4 there, but we've got lots of 6s, which is the energy of the Lovers. That's what comes out is in the Lovers card. So I'm actually going to just see if there's any cards in here that can give us just a little bit extra on this. So an outcome for... So if this is a person coming towards you, looks like it is. Okay. So it looks like there's been a period of recovery. Maybe there's been like no contact, no actual talking, no actual being around each other. Yeah, and you've just been focusing on work and things like that, but that connection isn't going away, and you're both kind of feeling into that, feeling that energy going there. And the King of Swords is kind of like the energy of taking action, like taking a stand there and going forward for it. So it's interesting that they're both swords that came out there. And I'd say this is all thoughts. This is all the swords. It's mental energy. So it's like where you're kind of moving towards something. So with the Knight of Pentacles and then with the King of Swords, and we've got the Emperor energy over this as well. This is somebody taking charge and coming forwards. And it's kind of like being in their mind for some time, I feel. They have been thinking a lot about this. I mean, we've got the 6 of Cups energy as well, which is like it's been a lot of thought gone into this. And they needed that time just to maybe work on themselves, get some healing going on there. That's what it feels like to me. So that energy there feels very strong as, yeah, somebody coming in. So I want to say with the time on there, as we've got the 4 of Swords, this could be over the next 4 days or 4 weeks. So obviously, as this is for more than one person on here, it's not private reading. See if that resonates with you, either 4 days or 4 weeks. So please do let me know on that one. And I'm just going to read you the card for the Ladybug and the Sweet Pea. So I do really like these ones. So we've got XXX5. I wish they weren't in Roman numerals though. So happiness, the meaning of this card. We have symbols of good luck and fortune. Ladybirds are wonderful insects known to keep garden pests like aphids at bay. The sweet pea is a beautiful scented climber. In the Victorian era, sweet peas were given to thank hosts for a lovely time. Combined, the ladybug and the sweet pea represent ease and happiness. Upright, you're entering a period of happiness, positivity and good luck. Celebrate your joy by sharing it with others. And in reverse, beware of taking too much. You may feel you have things under control, but the balance is delicate. Honour your limits to preserve a happy outlook. What brings me happiness, and how do I invite more joy into my life? Okay. So yeah, think about that for a moment. I'm also going to read what this one says. So be in the present and dream of the future. We've got 40. Okay, let's have a look. Avoid dwelling on things that have passed and no longer exist. Everyone has a past that has helped to shape who they are. This history cannot be erased. Accept the past and look forward to the future. Set goals, dream big and create. By doing this, you will eliminate the need to revisit the past. Having a goal helps you to focus on what is important. Setting a goal with a 1-year time frame is a simple way to live in the present. What would you like to be doing or achieving this time next year? Make it an attainable task and work on your dream every day. Once you've committed to your goal, you'll find you're more easily able to reach it. Work consistently towards your dream and you will make steady progress and achieve it much quicker. Okay. So yeah, with the energy of the Six of Cups, it's that dwelling on the past, things that have happened on there. And whether it's yourself or this person that's had to step away from that, had to walk away. But there has been change there. It's like you've been in this containment, in this egg. And now through this illumination, you know, it's kind of like highlighted your soul needs. And you've recognised, actually, your soul needs are a lot simpler than you thought. And to achieve them is a lot simpler than you thought as well. But it does feel like it's bringing about a union, bringing that together. And seeing how that energy resonates with you. But as with everything, there is always choice. There is a choice here. And you can either decide to go with this and try again, or try something new. But either way, bringing yourself into positions where you are taking a chance, going with what feels right for you, ultimately it will lead to happiness. So remember, be in the present and dream of the future. So pile number 1, I'm going to leave your reading there. I hope that resonates with you. If you would like to book a personal reading, then please do get in touch and let me know. Blessed be. Okay, so let's get ready then for pile number 2. So, where are you? Pile number 2. Here we go. So, if you're pile number 2, then you would have picked the rune Yera. And Yera is a rune of natural growth. So, it's cycles of natural growth. This is where you have been working on yourself, I feel. It's got like a wheel of the year sort of energy. So, you've taken the time to plant those seeds, to do the work, and now is the time of the harvest. It's time for you to start harvesting the gifts that you have received. So I'm going to place that rune in the centre, and we're going to see what your higher conscience is trying to tell you at this time. So where is your higher conscience right now? Wow, we have Gebo. Gebo is the rune of the heart centre. It's all about giving and receiving of love. So your higher self right now is bringing that love to you. And it feels like things are starting to be more in balance. That divine masculine and divine feminine in perfect balance. So maybe, yeah, this is what you've been working towards, is working towards that balance between giving and receiving. And it feels like through your higher self, you're achieving that now. Sorry, my voice keeps going, doesn't it? Let's see what your subconscious is telling you now. So where are you on this one? Let me see. Okay, so very different kind of energy for your subconscious mind. So this is like the blind spots of your mind that you're not quite aware of, but maybe are holding you back a little bit. So this is the energy of Thorazaz. And Thorazaz is an energy of sometimes defensiveness. It can be where, you know, you're not going into battle, but when you do go into battle, it can be quite defensive, or you're putting up a barrier around yourself. Maybe you see yourself in not such a good way. and that's affecting your friendships, relationships, maybe your work environment is affected by how you're feeling about yourself. But you're projecting that onto what you perceive people to think about you. Okay. Now, I'm going to have a look and see what your cards are telling us on here. So we've got your major arcana first of all, and then we will look at the minor and the court cards after. So we've got the High Priest and the Moon, or the Hierophant and the Moon. Now, it's funny because the Hierophant works quite well with Thorazaz because it can sometimes represent like a masculine archetype. This is a very masculine rune. So with that, and Gebo here in your higher self-conscious, is maybe there is a little bit of an imbalance coming through as there is this masculine side, and perhaps this represents somebody in your life that perhaps you feel has a power over you, like kind of holds the key to how you're feeling and the things that you're doing. Maybe this is where this defensiveness comes from. And as you can see here, the two keys, they kind of make the cross like Gebo, don't they? So I'd say this is somebody that you love. This is something that you is in your life that maybe is challenging for you, but at the same time you feel like it's a fortunate thing. It's something that is good for you. But with the Moon in this, that kind of represents, there is something that I'd say it's like a rejected part of yourself that's been highlighted, that's been illuminated, that maybe you're not happy about. So it's interesting with Gebo here. I feel like potentially there may be a little bit of grief or forgiveness for yourself that needs to happen here. And maybe that's the journey that you've been on. Maybe that's why you have Yera, because you are looking at this forgiveness for yourself. But there's always this blind spot pretty much of like a rejected part of yourself. I don't know if maybe somebody has come at you quite defensively, or somebody's made you feel like there's something wrong with you, or it's your attitude that's the problem. And I do feel like it could be connected with this person here, which is this masculine that I feel, feels like they know you better than you know yourself. And you're sort of looking now for like, do I feel right? Am I right? Am I a nice person? Am I not a nice person? And I'm kind of getting the feeling that it's like you've been made to feel like, and I hate using this word, but like the narcissistic tendencies or whatever. It feels like you've been made to feel that that's a part of you. And your journey here is, you know that you're a loving, kind person. You are, a good person, and you like to create balance. You like to have that balance in your life, but something here is making you feel like that balance is out of kilt. So I'm going to just have a look at what other cards we have going on here for you. Okay. Yes, so we have first of all the Seven of Wands. So there is that defensive energy. So remember when we said before with Thorazaz, we've got, you are getting defensive. And I feel like with that defensive energy, I think we've got the Ace of Swords here, but I feel like this should be in reverse. It's almost like you're not clear in your mind about who you are. You need to take a higher perspective. You are mentally exhausted, I feel, from this. And you're constantly finding yourself in these little arguments, in these little battles, that are really making you feel quite like you don't really know yourself. Like you don't really know what you want, or how you should be. And you're constantly striving for that balance. You're trying to give what you can, and just making sure that you're receiving that back, because this is what your higher conscience is trying to tell you. Maybe your spirit guides are trying to tell you this, that it's about balance. It's, make sure any situation you're in balance. Okay, that's what you need right now. That's where you need to be. And we've got here the Ace of Wands as well. So it's interesting, we've got the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. So we've got like the air and the fire energy on here. Now, this one I feel is like you moving into a place of like you've been aware of this defensiveness, but that's not all your own doing. That's not, you haven't created that for yourself. I feel like that's been created by the environment that you're in. But you've started to realise more. You've started to recognise, and this has been perhaps over the past year, that you know, have been working towards this, and you're coming into this transformation now. It's like you've kind of come to the end of a cycle here, and it's time for that new beginning, for something new to come to you. And this might be that you've started a new course, or you've taken an opportunity that takes you away or out of the environment that's making you feel this defensiveness. The wizards can also represent action. So your subconscious might be kind of like pushing you forward into action, allowing you to try something new and to, you know, try and break down that defensive feeling that you've got into something new and transformative and right for you. And it is going to work out for you. We have another very colourful card, which is the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is all about celebration. It's, you know, the foundations that you've built here with these 4 posts. And the people, you know, they're celebrating you. They're happy for you. And I feel like the work you've done here, you're actually going to be inspiring other people. And that is part of this Gebo energy. It's kind of like everything you do and all that you've done is purposeful. And it's been done with love and gratitude for yourself and for others. And you constantly try and be like that, you know, this energy of being defensive and stuff. You've only done what you needed to do to protect yourself. And you aren't the problem. You are not the problem. You're just trying to find your own way, find your own foundation. So if this is you moving out of a situation that's made you feel defensive, or not quite yourself, you are cutting through into clarity now. You're getting that mental clarity, and this is allowing you to build your own foundations. Perhaps you're starting out on your own. Maybe you have just got a new house, or are about to. I do feel like this may be around the next couple of months that you start to feel this Four of Wands energy. Maybe at the moment you're still working through this moon energy. And like I said in part number 1, this moon cycle that we're coming through now, this full moon, is all about releasing our old beliefs. So you've definitely come through a cycle where you've learned so much about yourself over this past year, and it might be difficult for you right now. You might still be stuck in a situation that is feeling uncomfortable, but you are constantly being, what's the word? You're committed to yourself. You are resilient, much more resilient than you were. You've come through this and you're not going to go back. There's a little bit of like unbounding going on here. So it's like you're unraveling things that have kind of kept you held in a space, and you're starting to see more loving things around you. Maybe you've been looking at sunsets and sunrises and things, and it's been making you feel like, I'm so grateful for this. So grateful for what I have and where I am. Even if it's a difficult time for you at the moment, you are full of love and gratitude, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we're going to have a little look and see what your, your animal card, you have the snake and the fern, and it's all about starting over. So this is a new beginning for you. That's just confirmed for me. I feel like this is you finding a new place, moving somewhere new, stepping away from the environment that you've been in that's hurting you, and, you know, embodying that energy of the snake. You know, snakes, they shed their skin. They're constantly shedding, and that's the energy of Yera, is like that constant cycles of natural growth, bringing that through. It's a really, really beautiful way to be, to starting over. Let's see what your moon card says. Awaken. Nice. I thought they were jellyfish at first. It looks like jellyfish on there. So this is your awakening now to who you are becoming, to who you actually are, and the gifts that you have. You know, you've kind of suppressed that heart center for some time now. You've been made to believe that it's something about you, but it's not. I do feel like this may be since maybe July or something. It's come through from a few months back, but now is a time for that awakening. It's like you've taken a long walk to understand yourself better. And they do look like jellyfish. And I think with jellyfish, it's got that energy of Thorazaz, where it's kind of like, you know, I won't hurt you unless you come near me, and then you'll feel my sting if you do. Not a bad energy to have, to be fair. But it's just where I feel like that's been aggravated for you, and it's been turned against you to make you feel like you're the one that's created problems. You're the one that's wrong, and this is really somebody else not being able to take responsibility or accountability for their actions. But it has left you wondering, you know, what is it? What is it with me? Why do people treat me this way? Let's see what your chakra card is telling us today. Okay, so we have, this is connected to the crown chakra, and it's the card of instinct. I love this card because it kind of, I love the two-headed wolf in it. And look at all the moons. Again, there's so many moons around here, and we are coming up to a full moon tomorrow. I feel like with this energy, it's like your intuition is spot on. You really, I mean, that's like with the moon. Yeah, you have got a lot of intuition there. Really have. And, you know, you are gaining more of your mental clarity back. But now it's time to be guided by that instinct, guided by your higher self. What brings you this balance? Discern what is right for you, not what you feel. Or if somebody's trying to sort of paint you out in a bad light, or trying to bring you back in by guilt tripping you, understand that sometimes with Gebo, in order to bring love, and this is what unconditional love is sometimes saying, you know, I'm actually, because I love you, I can see that there is an issue here, and we are constantly friction between us. So it's time for me to step away. And that doesn't mean that you don't want to see that person eat or live or be happy. It just means that they won't be doing it at your table. It is a loving act to recognise when something isn't working for you and to step away. That's using your instinct. There's no ego involved in that. It's all from the soul. Okay? It's all soul energy. So, let's just pick another card to go with that. So, moving forward then. So, we've got the Four of Wands on there. So, what's going to happen on here? What do we see? What is this starting over, this new beginning that's coming? What does it mean? What's going to happen for you? Because maybe you're just in the middle of trying to separate yourself from this feeling of having to defend yourself. And we want this awakening for you. Okay, we've got the Seven of Cups on the bottom of the pack. So that's like choices. Breaking through illusions as well. I feel like you're really starting to gain that mental clarity. You're really starting to see things for what they really are. So don't ever question that intuition. Okay, and the Knight of Pentacles. I see you moving forward into a place of opportunity, taking an opportunity, seeing an opportunity, and it's what's arised from you standing up for yourself, taking control of your life and moving forwards. And we move into the King of Pentacles energy. So that's a very grounded energy. this opportunity that's coming for you because you're moving away from this situation. Yeah, the King of Pentacles is stability, pure stability. If we couple that with the Four of Wands, you know, it's those foundations and that stability. And you should be really proud of yourself because that's what you're bringing for yourself. Okay. If this hasn't happened for you already, it will be happening soon. And I would say by April, you will be in a new environment, in a space of that perfect balance between the masculine and the feminine. You're starting over. You've got this new opportunity going ahead for you. And it's beautiful. It really, really is beautiful. Now, I picked a Whispers of Love card as well. So the Whispers of Love kind of just give you a little bit of a loving kindness kind of message. So we have love endures. Love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. But sometimes it's understanding what is love. Yeah. Sometimes we can sugarcoat things and make it sound like, you know, oh, well, you can't leave that person because I love them. What does that mean? If it doesn't make you feel fulfilled, if it doesn't make you feel like you're yourself, then is that really love? I'm going to just read for you. If I knew what I'd done with it. What have I done with it? Okay, we will. Oh yeah, I've got it. Sorry about that. Here we go. So we've got Whispers of Love, Love Endures, number 43. I'm going to just read this out to you. Okay. So just look at the picture. It's got somebody on a ship sailing away. There's a strange lion with some horns or a harp on its head. I'm not quite sure what that is. No matter what is going on, love can endure all things. Take positive steps to help create the change that is necessary to get you through this. Release your fear and recognise that love will last. Take a step back so you are better able to remember this truth. Love lasts. When differences arise, it's important to accept the person you are with has their own perspective. Learn to compromise. Avoid taking a hard stand when it's not necessary. Be aware of what you want in your relationships so things can return to a state of harmony. There are many things beyond your control, but you can control how you feel. At times it feels easier to walk away from a relationship, especially if it feels tedious or demanding. Look at what you have done when faced with challenges in your relationships. Do you give in to get through the conflict or do you take a stand? Look at your past reactions and be willing to address any behaviours or aspects of yourself that are of no benefit to you. A young couple sit close to each other as the boat they are travelling on encounters turbulent seas. The lion at the mast of the ship represents personal power. Turbulent water symbols high emotions. Taking a minute to compose yourself and your thoughts benefits everyone. Are you asserting yourself in a loving manner? Make love the driving force. Return to this energy to support you through whatever is going on. So it's having love for yourself, I think, is the most important thing right now. You need to start over. You've recognised that. When love is getting to a point, you know, where it's not working anymore in this particular situation, you have to use your intuition. You have to use your instinct. You have to take action and move forwards in the way that is positive for you. And the outcome is spot on, because that love, the more love you show yourself, the more love you're actually giving out to other people as well. So bring that for yourself and for others, and recognise, discern what feels right and what needs to change in order for you to be fully in your heart centre, in that love. I'm going to read this one as well for you. What is it with me? I can't find any books at the minute. Right. The Snake and the Fern. So starting over. Triple X. 1 5. Yeah, I've actually turned to that straight away. That's unusual. So starting over. This is the Snake and the Fern. The snake and fern calls us to start anew. Regularly shedding its skin, the snake is a symbol of rebirth and transformative healing. In many cultures, the fern is associated with new life and new beginnings. To the Maori of New Zealand, an image of the unfurling silver fern frond, or kuru, is a central motif indicating growth and a return to one's origins. Together, the snake and fern inspire confidence as we start over or embark along a new path. A rebirth is imminent. Summon the magical protection of the fern and wriggle free of old trappings. Can I grow by returning to my point of origin? Who or what protects me when I shed my skin and become vulnerable? I feel like this is about you recognising the love that you can have for yourself and what you can bring for yourself in a loving, kind way. Okay. So that was you, pile number 2. I hope that resonates with you. And if you would like to book a personal reading, then please do get in touch. There is a link at the bottom of this video that will give you the details to get in touch to book your reading. Blessed be. Okay then, so let's just work with now. Who do we have now? Pile number 3. Let's look at you. Okay. Pile number 3. Welcome. So, if you're pile number 3, then you would have picked the rune Fehu. This rune is very abundant. It's a very lucky rune. It kind of represents wealth. So wealth isn't always about money. Wealth can be about, feeling wealthy in your family life, in your relationships, in your work life. So it's quite a fortunate rune to have as the central rune of your reading. So let's see what goes with that. So I always look at the higher conscience first of all. So what your higher self is trying to tell you. Okay, we have the higher self now as Thorazaz. Now it's funny because in pile number 2, this was in the subconscious, but this is now your higher conscience. So it might be a time to defend your wealth, to defend what is, where your wealth is. So perhaps if you're a little bit happy-go-lucky, you're a little bit sort of easily pleased, your higher self is kind of trying to get you to take action here. To defend something of yours. And that doesn't mean running out the door looking for battles, but it's about finding your peace within battles and being quite direct with this energy, being quite direct with protecting what is yours. Maybe you do feel like you're in a good place at the moment. Perhaps there is wealth coming through for you, but there's a fear there of losing it. And that can be the reverse energy of Fehu. So with Thorazaz, we're looking at that you need to take action here on something, and it feels like as it's coming through your higher self, perhaps there's been lots of signs of this, and maybe you're feeling a little bit panicky at the moment. Maybe you're feeling that energy on there. Let's see what your subconscious is talking to us about on here. Interesting. Your subconscious is quite happy. There's harmony here. Wunyo is like ecstatic joy. So again, I can feel like quite an excited energy within you. So it feels like things are moving quite fast. Things are quite intense. And Wunyo is kind of like a very balanced, harmonious energy. And what I want to say on here is sort of like there's a feeling within you that you are quite excited about something right now. But there's a fear in you that you're going to sort of miss the boat or not act fast enough. You just want to be peaceful, harmonious, but there is a need to take action here. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on something. So we'll place that there and we'll see where your cards are with this. So what are your cards telling us on here? Wow, okay, so we have Justice and the Lovers. So Wunyo does actually represent, it can represent new relationships. So with Wunyo in your subconscious, maybe there's an opportunity for a new relationship here. yeah, you've recognized something that you feel brings you wealth in a way that you didn't realize it was wealthy before. And with justice in here, it's interesting because Thorazaz and justice would go really well, and Wunyo and the lovers would go really well. So it's like, it is actually quite balanced. It's like the energy of as above and so below. But with the justice card, I feel like maybe, and I see with that curtain in the background, it feels to me like there's been something hidden in your brow center. It's like there's been an illusion over something that you intuitively know, like hoodwinking yourself. And I do believe it may be to do with a new relationship. And this is about you embarking on something new. That's the other energy with Thorazaz, about that taking action. So like I said before, it's like there could be a missed opportunity here if you don't act quick enough. So this could be where perhaps you want to reach out to somebody, you want to make a connection here. Maybe subconsciously you are dreaming about it, you're thinking about it. It's an experience that you would like to have. But it's kind of like with justice here, if you don't act soon, I feel like this may be a missed opportunity. It's maybe something that could actually end up passing you by. And perhaps that's why you're joining me now in this reading, because you needed to know that. You needed to understand that. Bear with me. My throat keeps closing up a little bit. So let's see your other cards. Wow. Okay. Right. So I'm going to place these down here. It's quite interesting because it feels like we've got the Queen of Wands and the King of Cups here. So I feel like these two people have been doing a lot of work on themselves, and I feel like maybe this isn't a new relationship, but perhaps it's a relationship from the past that you would like a new beginning with. And maybe the action is, and the justice card there is that perhaps something happened there to break that connection. And maybe you're feeling a bit defensive about it, but you know it actually brings you wealth. It brings you balance and makes you feel, it's almost like in your subconscious, you know that this is something good for you. Okay. And I think I feel like with the King of Cups here, it's like the divine masculine and the divine feminine going on. I love the Queen of Wands. I really do love that energy, because it's kind of like, this person sees her as this divine feminine and this person sees him as this divine masculine. It's like you both really feel the same way about each other. You've both got that love there. And I feel like as it's water energy on here and fire energy on there, so like fire energy is more masculine and water energy is more feminine. And it's like he's gone away to work on his emotional side and she's gone away to work on her power. But ultimately, you're both doing that for each other. That's what it feels like. It's like you're working on those things for each other, but separately. And this is where the justice card comes in. It's almost like perhaps you're both looking at your part that you've played in the relationship previously, or in the connection previously, whatever it is that's happened there, and trying to look at the changes that you can make, trying to put things right. That's what it feels like. That's what I'm hearing, is putting things right. And we have on the other side of it, all the pentacles. We've got 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles. Now with this 6 of Pentacles, this energy, and the 6 is the number of the lovers as well, it's about that giving. And it's almost like you're both at a place now to be able to give. Even if there's still healing going on there is that energy of you're both available now to give that energy to each other. I do see children here as well. So maybe there is a fear, I didn't mean to say fear. There's a feeling of giving to children in this sense as well. So maybe this could be a connection where perhaps you've thought about having children together, or perhaps the person that you want to get with has children, and that's potentially been something that's prevented you from wanting to be with this person, or caused an issue, but now perhaps you're seeing it as an opportunity to give. Or maybe you're in a place with somebody where you would like to adopt or foster. I do get that sometimes with this card. But it is about that sort of opening your heart, wanting to give. And that it goes really well with Feihu, actually. It's almost like you've recognised on here a need to give. But don't give too. I think that was telling you, don't give too generously. Like there's a fear of that. It's something that you would like to do, but something holds you back from it. And that's what your higher conscience is telling you on here. It's like it's holding you back for some reason. There's a defense there. It's like you want that. And subconsciously, you're feeling that. You're thinking about it a lot. But something's holding you back from it. And I do feel like with the Ten of Pentacles, there is an element of what we inherit from our bloodline, from our families, ancestral. There is magic within it. So it's almost like, the qualities that you inherit, but sometimes it can represent other things that you inherit. And I do feel like you are yourself, you perhaps an earth sign yourself, like Taurus or Capricorn or Virgo. And this is where you would like stability. And I feel like you are a family person. You want loyalty. You want to pass on your gifts. You want to pass on your the way that you are. You want to leave a legacy here. That's what I feel. And you are making a decision here to give. And I feel like, it just feels like a real stability there. It's like that house in the background, the family there, even the pet, it's all there. You've got everything going. Everything's going for you on there. And with the Lover's card as well, it's a beautiful energy from this reading of that contentment, balance with the Justice card, and balance with the King and the Queen. I don't think you could get better than that, really, unless it was, King of Cups, Queen of Cups, or Queen of Wands or King of Wands. So I'm just going to shuffle the pack. So with this connection then, what can we see happening next with this? So I don't feel like this has actually happened yet, but I think it's about to. It does feel about to. So what other information do you have for this connection? Okay, so it feels like there's a period of recovery here. I'd say over the past few months, you've gone away and taken a bit of time for respite, to just have a bit of a rest. And it's actually helped you to understand and feel this fortune that you have, this wealth that you have around you. Maybe you haven't been very well, and you've recognised actually who was there for you at that time when you weren't well, who gave to you at that point, and it feels like you want to give back to that person now. And you don't only want to give back to that person, but you've decided that that person actually feels like family to you. They feel like somebody that you really do admire and respect and honour, and that you really do love. There's love there. And maybe, I don't know, maybe yourself or this person hasn't been very well now. Maybe they're taking rest. Maybe you're taking rest. And it's like if somebody's given to you and expressed that love for you, maybe now you're feeling like you want to give that back. Like you feel like that person deserves that in return. And Thorazaz, we can turn this either into a defensive, like, no, I can't do that. Or we can turn it into, I'm going to take action. And sometimes with Thorazaz, it needs to be a gentle, harmonious way. And with Wunyo, it's like you keep going back to excited about moving forward and then dropping back into being defensive, not moving forward. So there's a little bit, you need this Justice card to help you to sort of move that energy forward, get that balance back. Balance between the masculine and the feminine. It feels like a real power couple kind of energy coming through from that. And we have the Emperor energy. So if you wanted a message about taking action, I feel like this is your message. So this might be you taking action over somebody to create that balance, or it might be somebody taking action now over you to create that balance. And it's be the leader in your life, you know. What is it that you want? Put that out there. Recognise your gifts. Recognise the things that are there with you, that empower you, that make you who you are. Do we have any other messages on here? Yep, Knight of Wands as well. So Knight of Wands is that sort of like that movement forward. She's facing completely forward. This is choosing a direction. It's taking you to a direction, that action towards something that's fortunate for you, like taking that power. Allow yourself to do that. Allow yourself to move in the direction that you want. And we've got the Three of Cups on the bottom there as well, which signals a union. I said this in pile number 2, I think, where we got 2 people there bringing their cups together, and the third person kind of represents the 2 of you together. So it's like, you know, that 3 energy of like 2 individuals combining their energy to create that extra cup. It's a beautiful energy, and it feels very much like that's what you're trying to, what you've recognized. Actually, I need to be surrounded by these people. This is the person that makes me feel complete, that makes me feel in my power. They help me to recognize maybe my addictions and things, and like this person, they make me recognize where I need to step up into my own power. It is an energy of really bringing out the wealth within each other. So let's look at your animal on here. Okay, so the moth and the eucalyptus, we have an ending. I like this card. I haven't seen it before. So the moth and the eucalyptus with an ending. So again, with the 4 of Swords we had before, it feels like there's been perhaps an illness there, or there's been a period of recovery through. There's an end here to certain, I want to say addictions. It's like an ending to things that have held you back from actually being in this fortunate energy with finding this wealth. And you're recognizing now what those things are. And with the Emperor energy, you're taking action over that. You're saying like, no more. I'm moving forward in this. Okay. And with the full moon coming up, and this is about the breaking down of patterns of limiting belief systems, things that are holding you back from really being who you need to be and where you need to be. Okay, but we do have with your moon card, patience. So it might be this 4 of Swords energy is still going on here at the moment. And I feel like it's, like with the subconscious, that this is going to happen. You know that this relationship, this new beginning is going to happen. But maybe right now it's about finding that fortune within yourself. It's finding what is your wealth, what is your worth. That's what you're looking at. So have patience with yourself. Yeah? You can't pour from an empty cup. And what's happening here is like, I can see the bucket going into the river on there. It's into the pond. It's like, how many buckets of water would it take to fill up that pond? You may have to walk back and forth. That's going to take time to do that. But once you do, you're going to see what's reflected back in there. And what you're giving into there, it will be reflected back to you. There is balance here. There is a real synchronized kind of energy to this about giving and receiving. So like if we look at the the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, it's almost like, you know, what you've given there is going to create this, like, coming together, and that family feeling of, you know, being content. You can do that. You can bring that. And sometimes as well, it can be about, you know, collapsing those previous behaviours and things that have held you back in the past, recognising maybe where that's come from, a lineage of troubled relationships in your past or in your family life, and you saying, like, I'm done with that. I'm washing that away. I'm creating my own pond here of what I want, and filling those buckets up with that energy that you want. Okay, let's have a look at your chakra card on here. Okay, complacency. And this is connected to the root chakra. So I do feel like there is a want here for this. But sometimes you can exhaust yourself with thinking about it. It's like so much in the mind. And maybe that's the Four of Swords on here. Maybe that's why you're feeling the way you are. Because you're exhausting yourself with these thoughts, with these feelings. And perhaps you feel like all hope is lost with this connection. Maybe you feel like there is no way forward on here, which is sad. And maybe that's an insecurity. So work with the energy of Feihu to understand your worth and understand what you bring. And, you know, it feels like to me, if you needed confirmation, what you are looking for, it is there for you. It is coming for you, but you need to step out of this complacency, step out of a despondent way of thinking or feeling. And it's time to, instead of isolating yourself and dwelling on things, is start giving. And that's going to resonate with your root chakra. It's going to help you to feel more secure, and you're going to start to see that reflected back at you, and it will be reciprocated. You're not going to be rejected. It will be reciprocated. So this ending that we've got here, it's an ending to the old to make way for the new. An ending to old patterns, and almost like this patience is like washing away all of the old stuff. Yeah. So over the next couple of weeks, from this full moon energy into the new moon energy, I feel like that's what you're going to be working on, is kind of like taking those buckets back and forth. So it may be a couple of weeks before you're ready to step out of this complacency and into that action. And we have a Whispers of Love card to go with this. So your Whispers of Love: rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take a break. So again, that Four of Swords energy, you know, you're still here at the moment. You're thinking so much about this, and it's almost like you know that this is going to happen. But I'd also say it's not going anywhere. It's quite solid, you know, with this Ten of Pentacles on here. This isn't earth energy. It's not going anywhere. It's kind of like, almost like karmic, like it's past life. This person and yourself, you've been here before together. This isn't new. And you're solid as a rock. You're really solid. And you're both doing your own thing. And in time, we did have the Three of Cups, didn't we? I'll put it away now. When it's time, it'll come back together. But you just got to have that patience with yourself, and allow for this rest and recovery to happen. I've done it again. I've known. Where's the book gone? Right. I'm going to read that to you. So this is page 42. Rest and relaxation is essential. You are at your best when all aspects of your life are balanced. Love yourself and the people in your life enough to create an environment where everyone has the opportunity to take care of their needs. You are at your best and able to fully appreciate all that life offers when you are well rested. When you're under a lot of stress, your muscles respond and become tense. Be aware of what stress feels like for you and implement some relaxation techniques to keep things from escalating. Your ability to calm down and relax will improve with practice. It's important to recognise and address your needs. Do not wait until you're completely depleted before you stop for rejuvenation. Make relaxation a part of your day. Give your mind and muscles a much needed rest. Okay. So it is time for you to do that, because you're exhausting yourself to the point of like, it's just, you've got no energy for anything. You need to gain your energy so that this Emperor energy and this action can take place. It's not going to go away. It will stay here. Sorry about that. So I'm going to read you now the moth and the eucalyptus and ending, and see what energy we have there for you. You know, it's like that saying where it's sort of like, what's meant for you, it will find its way to you. I know that can sound a little bit vague sometimes. But seriously, taking a step back, taking time to rest, and just leave things alone for a minute. If it's very grounded energy, then it's still going to be there. It's a bit like housework, for instance, or something like that. You know, it's sort of like, you don't have to jump on everything straight away, and sometimes if you do, you actually do a worse job of it. Whereas if you take that time to rest and recover, then it's still going to be there when you come back to it. I just made it sound like what you're heading towards is a chore. Maybe it is a challenge, maybe it's work. And it does feel like with you two, with the people here, the person that you're moving towards, you are constantly going to challenge each other, but not in a negative way, in a positive way, to be the best versions of yourself. You've already done that. You've already started doing that. And whether that is in a physical sense, or whether this has been psychically, that you got this connection, that you're doing that, it feels like what you're doing now is preparing yourself to end what holds you back from being present in this connection. So the moth and the eucalyptus. The moth and eucalyptus is at number 13 for a reason. It mirrors the meaning of the death card in a traditional tarot deck. The death card rarely indicates literal death, but rather marks the ending of some kind and provides us with the knowledge and power to let go. The moth shows here is the death's head hawk moth, named for the unique skull-like markings on its back. The death's head is nocturnal and, like all moths, it flies towards the light. Eucalyptus is a symbol of protection, and the oil from this plant can be used to guard against and soothe a variety of ailments. So an ending is imminent. This could mean the end of a relationship, a hobby or interest, a job, or any number of other things. While endings sometimes mark loss, they don't always. And even if we do experience grief, we have the power to emerge from it with better understandings of ourselves. How can I be more accepting of change? What tools do I have that might help me feel safe and protected when a change occurs in my life? So it feels like this is a change within yourself. This is an ending within yourself to prepare for this union, to prepare for something that makes you feel held and in a space of giving and nurturing and family orientated, that wealth. And this is just complete wealth and abundance. And it's almost like things are lining up for you now, but you're still in this period of needing to take that rest. Allow this ending for yourself. Allow that to come through. And again, I'm going to come back to the King of Cups, because it feels like somebody's been working on their addictions, something that you feel is stopping you from moving forward with something that makes you feel this energy of wealth, of contentment. And sometimes with that, it's almost like if you were to be drinking or something and you suddenly stop drinking. So they call that cold turkey, don't they? It's going to make you feel a little bit poorly. It's going to make you feel like you kind of perhaps need a bit of rest. Your body's going to be affected by that change. And I feel like that's potentially where this energy is, on the divine masculine side of yourself. So again, that you don't have to be male. This could be for a female as well. But it's almost like you're preparing yourself ready to be able to match and meet with the Queen of Wands. And remember when we said with this card here, the Patience card, it's like you're taking your buckets of water and filling up this pond. And maybe now it's full. You just need to appreciate it yourself. You need to appreciate yourself. And that's going to be reflected back to you by the moon, by that divine feminine energy. Yeah, so it's going to be reflected back to you, what it is that you want to achieve. So I think I will leave that there for you, pile number 3. If you would like a private reading, then do follow the link at the bottom of this video to get in touch, and I'll be happy to carry that on a deeper level for you. So I hope you enjoy your reading. Do get some rest, and I will speak to you again soon. Blessed be.